Back here in the 912, a wave of football weather rolling into town just in time for the quarterfinals of the state playoffs. 6 teams from Savannah and the surrounding areas hitting the field and trying to punch their tickets to the semifinals. Starting over at Memorial Stadium, where Benedictine had the place rocking after jumping out to a 14-0 lead. Midway through the first quarter, Joshua Washington adding on, follows his blockers into the end zone, 21-0 Cadets. Still in the first, play-action pass, Stephen Cannon. It's Bennett Conaway. The 6'3 senior charges inside the 10-yard line. A few plays later, read option. Cannon decides to keep it himself, and the Texas Tech commit gets around the edge for the score. 28-6 Benedictine after the first quarter. Early in the second, Central Carrollton trying to keep this one competitive. Eyes downfield, but don't throw at number 1. JoJo Sutton picks off the pass, stays on his feet. He's got a house call on his mind, but the refs call a block in the back that no one else saw. Still, Benedictine taking full advantage of the turnover. Cadets dial up a QB counter for Cannon. He's one tough man to bring down. Central is supposed to have one of the best running backs in the state, Jonas Walton, but it's the backs for BC getting the job done. There goes Stanley Smart, 20 yards to the house. Cadets win, and Benedictine will host the semifinals at Memorial next week. To Midtown, Calvary Day playing in the quarterfinals for a 6th straight season. The Cavaliers have one of the best defenses in the region, and that's carried over to the state playoffs. First drive of the game, Gabriel Osfield. Ball's popped in the air. Watch 17, dives for it, and comes up with an interception. Big play by the junior, setting up the Cavaliers in plus territory. Ensuing drive, Calvary marching towards the goal line, where they let Caden Jones finish off the job. When the junior is healthy and playing, he's one of the best backs in the city. 7-0 Cavaliers. The defense continuing to suffocate the Wolfpack. Elisha Williams gets to the quarterback. Huge sack on 3rd down to force a punt. Same score still later in the first. Cavs facing a 3rd down. Clean pocket for James Mobley. Takes a shot. And watch MJ Knight rise up and make the catch. The junior makes a stunning play at least once a game. And then Jones, well, he'll finish off the drive with another touchdown run. Calvary wins 52-7, clinching their 2nd trip to the semis in 3 years. And up next for the Cavs, the winner of this game. Savannah Christian taking the field in Roswell, Georgia. Playing the top seed, Fellowship Christian. Raiders down 7-0. John Gross getting to the quarterback. The senior's 3rd sack of the postseason. But with these two teams met back in September, Savannah Christian struggled with tackling, and that was the case early on tonight. Jonathan Granby, the Georgia Southern commit, spins in for the score. These Raiders not going down without a fight. Blaze Thomas, the senior, rolls right, lets one fly, and Cam Yeldel hauls it in. Touchdown, Savannah Christian. It was their only score early as Fellowship Christian rolls, and they will host Calvary Day next week. Let's check on some other final scores in 3A. Jenkins comes up just short on the road, 21-16. The Warriors scored with under 2 minutes left and then even got the ball back, but ran out of time amidst the comeback. Checking on Class A Division I, Toombs County taking down Northeast Macon in a state title game rematch. Bulldogs senior running back Justin Powell rattled off 3 rushing touchdowns, bringing his total on the season up to 30. Over in Division II, Scravon County's undefeated season comes to an early end at the hands of Early County. Still, an outstanding year for the Gamecocks to be proud of. That's a look at sports. Keep it here.